When organizations began to industrialize, the deal between the worker was very simple. You work to earn money, to buy stuff that makes you happy. I don't think that that's working anymore. There are 5 forces that are changing our world. Globalization. In the past, we've thought that big ideas, new innovations came out of the developed world. Increasingly, they're coming from all over the world. 5 billion people connected to each other, all with access to abundant knowledge. Technology, of course, goes hand in hand with globalization. If, as is happening right now, people around the world can have very low-cost handheld devices, maybe even powered by solar power, that means that suddenly they can connect with each other in a way that they've never been able to do before.
Sustainable companies have more dedicated investors, which means they want to trade less often and they have a much more focused portfolio. Whereas the other companies have more transient investors, which means they want to trade more often and they have a more diversified portfolio.
We have to reduce our carbon footprint by 50%. So that means people can't commute so much, they can't get on planes so much, they have to change the way that they work. In India and in China, there are 2 billion people who are moving out of poverty into the consuming classes. They're beginning to buy stuff, their expectations of their life is changing. We're living differently in cities rather than in rural areas. In fact, more of us live in cities than live in rural areas.
Looking across geographies globally, there are changing demographics and changing preferences of customers.
What we're beginning to realize is there's very little correlation between higher standards of living and better feelings about happiness or quality of life. If we're going to have work as the center of our life, which for most of us it will be, work is where we find meaning.
There appears to be a human need for authenticity. And this is really interesting and quite philosophical. Part of what it means to be a human being is to have this idea that you are both a unique individual and that you should express that. And it seems very important to people at all levels and all cultures. Most organizations and most leaders try to instead subvert that. We thought that it might really wake people up to be asked, who are you?